Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mr. BuildWealth, and I'm back at it again. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm here to share information and resources that can help you get started with building wealth. The topic for this session is surfing and investing. As I like to do, I like to tell stories. And I think it's the stories that will help you kind of understand like why I'm so passionate about what I do. Because I think people need to hear these stories because maybe they'll cause some reaction and get them to act or do something differently. And so the reason I call this surfing and investing is because I took a trip with my fiance to the coast around the holidays, and on the coast you got surfers. And I was just watching one day, like I was just hanging out, having a drink, and I'm just watching these people, and you see kind of a variety of people. You get the kind of the beginners, which are like on one part of the beach, because the waves aren't as big. You get the kind of intermediate surfers who are like, the waves aren't as challenging. And then you have like some really heavy waves and you have like one or two down there. And so you see this variety of surfers. And then you get the people who are on the beach. They're not even getting in the water. so I was thinking like, why is this so intriguing to me? But then when you start to watch, you see that these surfers are kind of like investors. So you got your beginner investors who are just starting out, who may just be doing their 401k, their 403b, something through their job. You have kind of the intermediate people who are, I don't know, they're doing some investing through the job, but also maybe doing a little other investing outside of the job. And then you have some of the experts who are like the day traders, right? So you get this variance of different types of investors. And I'm sitting here just like, man, this is gonna make a good story. So here we are. So I think about surfing and investing. And so again, you have these variety, the beginners, the intermediaries, the intermediate type of investors. I'm not an expert, but I'm feeling comfortable. And then you have the experts. And when you think about investing, again, you got to think about the people who are sitting on the beach who aren't in the water. And that's kind of like how investing is. You have to find out, where do you fit in to this whole scheme of investing? That's what I find a lot of my clients struggling with, is trying to figure out how should they invest. And they're always asking the same, when should I get in? When's a good time? Yesterday was a good time. The day before that was a good time. Like, there's not this perfect time that you should be investing. Similar to these surfers, right? Depending on where they're in the ocean, certain types of waves are going to be coming or not coming. So if you're not comfortable with a very large wave like some of the experts do, you go down to a part of the beach where the water is just a little bit easier to manage. So you can learn how to jump up or pop up on your board and coast for a few seconds. And then you get those people in the middle where, again, the waves are a little bit bigger. Maybe you're catching a wave that takes you a little bit further down or closer to the beach. And so again, you got to figure out where you fit into this whole game called investing. And then you have the experts. Again, there's only a few who are out there. And I think that's very indicative of just our society. There aren't that many people who are making a gazillion dollars being day traders. There's a very small number of people who have that expertise. So you, as an individual, pick your poison. Where do you want to go? Where in the hell are you trying to go with your investment program? Or are you going to be one of these people who just sits on the beach, who just wants to get their feet wet, but don't want to get in the water and surf? So you tell me where you're going to get in. I do not recommend the person who's on the beach to get their board and go out and start trying to attack some of those bigger waves like the experts. You are going to crash and or you could die. So if you are an investor and you're thinking about wanting to become an investor, I wouldn't recommend you going to the big waves. It's not going to work out well for you. And that's pretty indicative of what happens to people who will bombard me with this, I want to be a day trader. What do you think about that? I'm like, you don't have that kind of time. The people who are tackling those big waves on that side of the beach, they have put in their time. They are comfortable with those size waves. If you're just starting out, don't try to take on those big waves. Do not become a day trader. Get in the water on the other side of the beach where the waters are a little bit calmer, the waves aren't, crashing, and they're just a little easy to manage. That's how you might have to attack investing. Get in where you fit in, and at some point, I gotta get more people to get off the beach, because for the majority of Americans, we're just kind of sitting on the sideline. Well, I'm thinking about investing. I might get invested. What should I invest in? And meanwhile, you're just watching everybody else surf, and everybody else invest, and everybody else make money, and you're seeing the stories in the media and on social media, and you're just like, I can't figure it out. Get your ass in the water. How about that? How about you just get your ass in the water with a board? Hell, if you're not even going to surf, maybe you just get like a boogie board and you catch a wave and you lay down on. It's almost like we're looking for validation from somebody else to give us the okay to go get in the water and enjoy the fun of catching a wave, whether you're surfing or you're on a boogie board. But if you are sitting and waiting, I got to ask you the question, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? The water is not going to stop moving. It's going to be rougher in other parts and a lot calmer in other sections. Just like the stock market, there are areas where you can just get in, you can learn a little bit, and you don't have to feel like you're taking all that risk or, again, tackling that big wave. Get in, get comfortable, and build your way up. Build up that confidence. Because at some point, I believe that most people who surf, they probably want to learn how to surf the big wave, and then they got to build up to that level. So maybe that's what you have to do with your investment strategy. Stop watching the news. Stop listening to your friends. Stop listening to your family members. What is it you want? But I would recommend you at least get into something. And if you're going to get into something that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, I'm going to let you know. But maybe it's something you just are so obsessed with that you can't resist trying to get in. Well, take your time and learn. Maybe it's a little risky to start out there, but maybe you learn how to mitigate some of that risk, and then you slowly become the expert. It takes time. It's a journey. Again, you don't just get a board and go tackle those big waves. It's just that doesn't happen. And so I just want to recommend that you consider getting invested. And hopefully this surfing story was one that will kind of help you understand why it's important to get in where you fit in. Because if not, you're gonna fall out, and then you're gonna get upset. Now, the other part of the surfing thing that really, really touched me was their persistence. Meaning, you don't catch every single wave that comes your way. Some break. Every wave, I think, wave breaks differently. So you think it's a good one, then it turns out not to be. And I think about how if the wave wasn't that great, they literally fall down into the water and swim right back out and just wait. And so you wait to the next wave. And so you're waiting for that next opportunity. And that's the same thing like investing. Another opportunity will keep coming. But will you be in position to catch it? And the surfers, sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. Sometimes they're swimming back out to catch it, and then the wave comes across and hits you. And you're like, damn, there goes somebody who just caught that really good wave. So be willing to stay in it, to stay in the ocean, to stay in the market. Again, time in the market is better than timing the market. Surfers understand that. Time in the water is better than sometimes timing, because sometimes your time is going to be off. Because again, you may have caught the wave that wasn't the big one you were looking for, and now somebody else got it. Versus just hanging out, waiting, understanding that even when that wave starts to come, you're like, nah, that's not it. Nah, it doesn't feel right. That's when you know you're really getting into your flow. And these surfers do that. And I watched a lot of them sit there on their board and they're just like, nope. And somebody else would just jump on and try it out. It wasn't working. And then they're just sitting there waiting. Because they know another opportunity is coming, because the water never stops moving. The same thing with the stock market. Every day, it's going all across the world. So being mindful that the opportunity will keep coming, but being willing to stay in. Hell, there was even one day we were sitting out, not sitting out, it was raining, and surfers were out in the water. So it wasn't even a great day. And I think that's also another good analogy. There are going to be some bad days in the market, and yet there will be people who make money. It was raining like heavily. And there were still surfers out there catching waves. Very few, because we think that, oh, it's a bad day for weather, but somebody else was like, that's a great day to go because it's not going to be packed. That's also like investing, right? When everybody's out there trying to do it, it's just too crowded. You got too many surfers waiting. But it was a rainy day. Same with investing. Sometimes people say this investment ain't going to work out, and so people run away from it. And then the value drops. And then that person who's willing to sit out in the rain and keep watching, they're like, shit, man, everybody getting away from it. I'm about to get in. And then by the time it comes back around, you have a nice, let's say the weather just breaks. So it was raining in the morning, but maybe it breaks in the afternoon. This person been out there all day, and then the sun comes out, and now it turns into a beautiful day, and they're just catching waves left and right, and ain't nobody in the water with them. That's like investing. And I think surfing it was a great, I was sitting there like, my God, this is going to be a great something I'm going to do. And I'm sharing this story now because it's probably going to be an article that I write at some point to try to get people more comfortable just understanding investing and being willing to get into the game, but understanding you got to get in someplace and get in where you're most comfortable. Okay? So as always, if you are struggling with trying to figure out your investment program and you just can't figure it out on your own, hit me up. Hit the link in my bio, and I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you. Maybe it's just a 15-minute call. Make the investment. It is well worth it because it is the one thing that is going to help you sleep a little bit better at night when you realize you don't have your financial house in order. Because once you do, gosh, you're going to sleep so much better. All right? So I'll catch you all next time.